Monday. It's your boy Gerald. How is everybody doing? I know it's been a minute and I've just been living, speaking my truth. But before I could even speak my truth, I must place him first in all that I do because he is the foundation. He is the reason, the connection that makes your intimacy relevant. We're talking about your existence, family. That's what we're talking about. So how you doing, family? You are now in the midst of summer. Now, you're probably wondering, what is that? That's my scrunchie. But before I slide it back, because I am starting my day, I am sitting here, but I am sending out an example to somebody that may have had doubt, have systematically convinced yourself that, you know what, this is nothing but reactionary to what has been constantly projected. And you actually have allowed your environment, instead of you, be the impact of that environment. So, not to be metaphorical, this is for that person that says, well, you know what? I'm just stuck. Nothing's going to change. I am who I am, and I have to accept what is being dealt. Let me tell you something. I explained to you, I want to say now 2 months, 2.5 months. Just go back to the videos. Y'all remember the videos. They're there for you. And I said, listen, when you start loving yourself, when you start allowing yourself to critically think, when you start investing in you, your validation will come. But when you truly understand what it takes to define what love is, the first thing that happens it is you're the living example. You are the testament of it. So the short story is for every person that said, I can't grow, I can't change the way my outer is being presented. I'm here to tell you that's not true. That is a lie. But you got to put the work in. And that is why I put the title of Sow Your Seeds. Because until you decide to sow your seeds, before you can make the decision, you got to manifest it. And the only way you're going to be able to manifest anything is you first must claim it. Did you hear me? You got to claim that it is relevant because it won't have value until you possess it. So, you still think you can't grow? You think that you've lost time? You think that the best years of your life has come and gone? I'm here to tell you, the devil's a liar. And I remember Erica Badu had this little uh, vignette on one of, I think it was the Window Seat album, and there was a part on there. She said, "You got to pick your Afro daddy because it's flat on one side." Y'all remember that, right? And y'all remember I put out a series of videos talking about how to tell if you have a good man. And I also had to be fair to also put a video out on how to tell if you have a good woman. And then I turned around and I put another video out about how to know if he loved you. If you haven't checked those videos out, it's in the catalog. It's there for you. Each one, teach one. But with that being said, this is summertime, family. So when you make the commitment on whatever that you perceive in within yourself as an aspiration, something that positively motivates you, the moment that you decide for it to come to pass is the moment the commitment is locked in. It is no different, family, for this earthly realm. See, this right here, family, is temporary. Always has, always will be. And it is temporary because age, time. This is something that man will never master. So it is very, very important, family, that you value your time. You treasure its importance because you can't get back yesterday. Who am I talking to? You can't get back yesterday, right? Therefore, there's a responsibility for reflection. The real question is who's keeping you from you? Or maybe for somebody else, who's keeping you from having that? The greatest gift you could ever give somebody is time to witness, to be present. How about to see the greatest treasure ever? And that is your smile. Who am I talking to? Who am I talking to? You walk around saying, I know everything, but yet you have not figured out how to be happy. Why? Haven't you realized all that you have seen thus far? Just look at just look at this year. We are in the summer. It is summertime. Memorial Day has come and gone. And with that, I would be remiss, family. I hope you guys had a safe and blessed Memorial Day. But the key word, memory, reflection. What did that moment, what was it represented? What was the validation? I guarantee there's going to be somebody that's going to see this video in the intended time and moment, and you're going to say, well, you know what? You know, in I thought that I had all intentions for it to be a special weekend, and it turned out not to be. But guess what? That was your validation. Did you not know that? It was meant at that moment, whatever that was hidden to be revealed, but it was your responsibility to receive. See, right now you might think, well, you know what, Joe, that's easy for you to say because I took a loss that during that period. Something pivotal happened and I don't feel I don't feel comfortable because I wish it never occurred. But think about this. If it did not occur, you would not have the information that you needed thus far. I could just do one better. Think back to how it was before it occurred. So it was the time that it had to be birthed out. And you know why? Because you're priceless. Now, let's take a let's expand that for a minute. Some of you heard what I tried to convey January 1 of 2018, and you made a decision that was the moment that you were going to stand on whatever that conviction was. And now you are reaping the benefits of that conviction. You do understand nothing happens by chance, fam. You do understand that, right? Please do not think that words like fate, it just happened, has merit. No, that is nothing but an excuse to not commit to what matters most. That's you, the person that wakes up every day, the person that has aspirations and let me not be rude, family, because you're like, what are you doing? I'm getting ready. I'm putting my boots on too. I do have a responsibility, just like you do. It's the beginning of the week, and guess what? This week in itself will be unlike any week you've had prior. But guess what? You gotta step in and stand on it so it can be solidified. Why? We're talking about your legacy, family. We always have, always will. Some of y'all may have taken the steps to research your lineage. I congratulate you. And you're starting to come up with a bunch of questions. You're starting to see a lot of nuances that don't add up. I commend you on that because some of you don't even realize that the moment that you took your first breath, you were already deemed to be the patriarch or the matriarch of your family lineage. Why? Because those who have come before you, those who have laid the path before you so that you could travel thus far to this point, it is all about the preparation and it always has been. So don't be afraid. Don't. Now, not to sound morbid, not to sound like they were like we used to use the term a Debbie Downer. How are your relationships these days? I know somebody right now, your heart didn't just skip the beat now, hasn't it? Like, whoa, wait a minute, hold on. What is he talking about? Because I feel your energy. I always have, always will. And as it was written, it is those who have a relationship with the Most High are the ones that are going to be chastised the most. This has to happen. The reason being is it is to shake, to separate those who walk the walk from those who only talk the talk. So you're going to go through some stuff. And it is not to punish you, it is to protect you. Who am I talking to? You right now think that you have a life sentence to those pharmaceutical prescription, and life may seem bleak right now. Now, who am I talking to? You, I understand, and I'm not telling you to discredit your health regimen, but I am going to tell you this. You do understand that, just like the metaphor, where the mind grows, the body flows. So maybe all that you have seen, all that you have felt, the aches, the pains, the moans, the groans, is nothing but a direct correlation of your state of mind. What do you think makes your environment, family? Your mind is so powerful. That's why we only use 6% of it. and peace. Well, I also have to throw this out here too. Um, for those who are listening, you do know the devil's a liar. And the greatest trick the devil ever done was to convince man that he was greater than God. So that's why you struggle. Because until you know what humility is, you're going to continue to go through it. But the only person who can get you through it is him. So that is why some people can't smile. That is why people run from the truth. That is why your reality is what it is. Because there is nothing but a living example of something that you choose not to acknowledge. And but that's okay, because that's no different than taking the seed from the shaft. Of course, not anybody can do it, because if that was the case, we would be living in heaven now, wouldn't we? We would be living in paradise, right? So, of course, if we allow what's going on outside our door to dictate what's going on in our heart, we kind of bleak, don't you? Don't you think? But guess what? You're going to have some people that want to keep the loyalty to their pain because it's all they know. That's all they know. Because that is the only thing that is an example of what loyalty is. I'm here to tell you, misery is the longest table ever with endless chairs, but nobody can make you sit down. That is a choice. That is a choice. And that's what the devil knows. Just like that's also the reason why half of the world do not know their own identity. You don't know who you are. So you can't expect to understand where you're going. Maybe that's the reason why you don't know how beautiful and how special your smile is, too. So, what is a man to inherit the earth by way of losing his soul? Maybe that is the reason why today half of the populace is running around like they lost their everlasting mind. Kind of makes sense, don't it? Why? Because they refuse to invest in what matters most. That's you. Nobody can tell your story better than you because you are the living testament. Therefore, the responsibility of that lies within every heartbeat, every breath, every step, as well as what you stand on. But if you allow someone to dictate your story, it'll never come out as it should be now, could it? So why would you do that? And let me tell you something. But before I go there, let me get, I'm going to need 3 minutes. I'll be right back. All right. patience. Now, I kind of find it, I don't want to use the word funny because I would be wrong to make light of someone's disparity. But I will note, I have noticed something is that there's so many, there's so many prolific things going on right now in the world. Right now, for a month, Kilauea has been pushing that lava out. Right now in Guatemala, they had an eruption. Now, I know some will say, well, hey, the earth is going to claim itself because the earth is alive. Well, what are we standing on individually? Because you've also heard the metaphor pressure breaks the pipe. So, what is keeping you from your dreams? What's keeping you from allowing that voice within to be heard? Do you realize how many people are running around frustrated? They got angst, they got turmoil going on. When in actuality, it's the truth that is demanding to be embraced. What is your truth? What is keeping that smile from off your face? What's keeping you from having that long, and what I mean long, peace of mind? I ain't got to tell you. Just look around. Everything in your reality is demanding that you take note and make a decision on which position that you wish to claim. Now, the one thing that I've always embraced, I want to say now 6 years, is the fact that time is a is something that man will never master, but must be respected. So with that being said, if you constantly seeing the same outcome, if you constantly in the same environment, have you ever just pondered the thought of what's keeping you there? The key to that is your state of mind. See, the one thing when it comes to denial, denial knows no time. But the one thing about pain is truth is on the other side of it. So you got to have the courage to acknowledge what don't work. If you are basing it off of a connection, if you're basing it off of a status, status is temporary. You see the examples all the time. 1 minute you're up, 1 minute you're down. But then there's that living constant. What is the living constant? And you will see your relevance in that. Only you know that. But guess what? You might be somebody said, well, I hear what you're saying, Gerald. That's why I've been wanting to change, but I just don't know how to do it. You know what's keeping you from that change? Is giving yourself permission to acknowledge what needs to be changed. See, the commonality with a community is we all have experiences. Some can relate, some cannot. But it doesn't mean it's incorrect. What it means is maybe indirectly you are to learn the insight of that experience. The breakthrough is allowing what is being shown and being able to use it. Now, here's the thing. I know you always heard the, this cheaters never win. You've heard that, right? Why is that? Because that's living history. I know somebody's saying, well, Gerald, yeah, that's why the system is the way it is, and it's his story. Well, what is your truth? Are you condoning it? Or are you learning from it? Are you following the status quo? Or are you being the exception to the rule? If you only knew how priceless your life is right now, how it's always been, but it takes a process of investing in ourselves. You realize how many of y'all have natural gifts and talents that the world needs but cannot it can't be appreciated until you have the courage to stand on what makes you unique. And I spoke on that long, long ago because I had to learn. It's a process. So you may be at that position in your life. You said, well, Gerald, I know what I need. And I didn't understand what I needed because there was a lot of wants. Well, guess what? If you still have that same desire as you did the first moment it was birthed in that beautiful mind, then that's something that's meant to come to pass. But you got to put the work in. You might be somebody who said, well, Gerald, I want to I want to take better care of my health. I like the results of these people I see out here. What's keeping you from being with them compared to where you are right now? You know what it is? Standing on it. Standing on it. Putting that foot down. Assessing the strength of that foundation and making a plan and sticking to it. That's why so many people that say, well, I want to be an entrepreneur. I want to, everybody has a dream of one day, I want to be a multimillionaire. I want to be able to have the, the access, because that's all finances is. Financial status gives you better access to things that you would not have. But what's keeping you from that? It's the commitment. I could turn around and go right here. What's keeping you from having peace of mind? Because if you're investing in the things that do not, that distract, that keep you unstable, or what like we would like to say, being spontaneous. There's nothing wrong with having spontaneity. But guess what? What is the foundation of that? Where does it come from? Does it come from pride? Does it come from your ego? Does it come from fear? Because fear is finally everything's a reality. And if you don't like what your reality is, what's keeping you from changing it? You're saying to yourself, well, I've had these friends as long as I can remember. But are you growing? Are they keeping you back from you? What are you afraid of? What is your truth? So now, family, I'll do this and I'm going to turn the page. It's summer, family. Summer 2018. Just for that in itself, look at how far you've come. Look at all the things you have done since January. You realize there's a lot of moving going on. There's a lot of interaction going on. There was a lot of things that were required that you be present to take note and be witness of. But the key is this: does it make you grow or does it hold you back? See, that is required for you to have your truth. But I'm here to tell you, because I'm going to always be optimistic, because you can do it. The sooner you start, the sooner you will get to your end result. And shouldn't that be, as it always was prescribed, blessed? Now, I'm here to tell you, as I've always said, not everybody is going to know your story. Not everybody's going to earn the right to walk with you. Not everybody's going to earn the right to hear you breathe. That's not a bad thing. That's why you have heard through the ages of people come into your life for a reason, season, and a lifetime. But you know what defines all these? It's the authenticity that is found within you first. Because if you take note and see what you feel is a disparity, look at your circle. Because your circle is a direct correlation of your direction. And I'm not going to sit up here and not acknowledge where I heard that. I heard that from actor, artist Tyrese Gibson. You know Tyrese. And I remember when I was in a low place in my life, very low. I was going through a heartbreak. For some of y'all that don't know, I send this invitation. You still think that your life is what it is? Here's your validation right here. Just go back to my catalog. Look at the very first one. Listen to it. And you will see not only have I physically changed, you can tell from where that broken man was compared to that whole man now. Because the real reason was that guy in the beginning did not love himself. Excuse me. And that's the real question for a lot of y'all. Do you really love you? Did you hear me? Do you really love yourself? Because if you love yourself, those things that do not help you become the best you and should be the example or the epitome, because they should also be the living example in their lives. Why would you position yourself in an environment that doesn't make you feel safe? That's for somebody. Why would you allow yourself to be in a position where your potential is being choked out? Remain. Why? I know there's somebody right now, you're saying, well, Gerald, I heard you. I want to get back out there. I used to run like the wind, and now I can't do it. Why? What's keeping you? All it takes is for you to make time for you. That means that's what intimacy is about, family. Intimacy. Into me, I see. Do you like what's inside you? See, half of the populace on this planet don't. And that's why they're ripping and running. That's why they're angry. That's why when they see you, they're bewildered because the fact they wish they could be you. Why? because there's something inside them that makes them feel insecure. You can't be strong without loving yourself first. And it's going to take time. Live your life. Take the stopwatch out your life. Check it off one by one. I even put this out earlier in the year. Beginning of the year, I said, some of y'all 2018 is all about getting your money right. I even threw out there before. I said, make sure your taxes are done. Pay them bills off. Because the more that you do, the more freedom you will have. More opportunity to focus on the things that are near and dear to your heart. Why? Because that is what is placed on your spirit all along. So lastly, I'm going to bring this home. It's 4 June 2018, and you still don't believe you're priceless? You still believe that? You still believe that? You still allowing people to have access to your life just to distract? I know somebody said, yeah, I know what he's talking about. I need to be focused on them books. Or I need to go back to school. Pick the phone up. Get in your car. Take the bus. Go down to the campus. Face to face. When you do that, you're stepping through that fear. You know what's on the other side of that fear? Your blessing. Where you should have been. Because everything that is destined for your life, it's like markers through your pathway. The more that you go forward. Because you can't live your life going behind. You can't look. There's somebody right now. You've got Minnie Riperton's Back Down Memory Lane on repeat in your mind. You might have gotten that, ooh, hey, how you been call. I told y'all this. When you live your life to its optimum level, don't worry about the people that are not in your life. This is not taking shade. The reason I'm saying that is you need every moment of your time to work on you. And guess what? In the intended time and moment, the people that have earned the right will be there to witness, to validate what was always written the moment you took your first breath. Don't worry about what Sarah's doing. Don't worry about what Darnell is doing. Why Darnell's not calling you. Let me tell you something. Darnell's not going to be your husband. He's not. Your mate is going to be the living example of what you are. Just like two hands coming together. And if it's blessed, you'll know it because they'll be able to not only finish your sentences, but they'll help you stand up when you are weak. Who am I talking to? So we are in summer, y'all. This is going to be a hot summer. There's going to be a lot of revelations and breakthroughs. There's going to be a lot of goodbyes. Don't trip on goodbyes. Because as long as you're above ground, as long as you can hear my voice, I'm telling you, goodbyes are temporary. It just means you got to focus on that. But if you don't focus on you first, family, you are holding your dreams, you are holding your direction, and you are holding all that is spiritually, rightfully yours, hostage until you do. You don't want to end up like some people, and they allow life time. Remember, I'm talking about time because we're getting older every day. You don't want to be a person that's saying coulda, woulda, shoulda, you know, and you, why? Make a commitment to loving you first. But I'm going to tell you what, Queen, you know I love you. What did I tell you? I said, stop looking for your man. Prepare for him. Prepare for him. And the only way that you can prepare for your man is you got to go within yourself to be the best you. You know how you've heard people say, well, would you date you? Let's take it up a notch. Would you walk with that person that is supposed to be by your side, that will have the key, that will hold the weight of your heart? The end goal, see, you got some people don't even believe in marriage. They're like, well, what, marriage is overrated. You know why people say marriage is overrated? It's because they don't want to do the work to be an individual first. That is the payoff when you've done everything right. But here's the kicker. Nobody tells you how long that will take. That's why some people get married later on in life. They do. There's nothing wrong with that. Or you can go through life, you're over here, and then you're over there, and you're over here, and you're over there, and you've got all this mileage, and you ain't got nothing to show for it but a whole lot of pain. But let me tell you this, and I'm going to shut it down. The person, the one, the sooner that you invest in your life, the sooner they will walk in yours. Did you hear me? And they will be not only everything that you have dreamed, because that person is spiritually connected to you. That's why it doesn't pay off for you to go out. You know, we had gotten carte blanche. You heard people convincing the populace, go out there and get what you want. But you never hear them say, invest in what you need. Why? Because they got an agenda the whole time. If you're speaking your truth, shouldn't you be investing in it? Shouldn't you be the example? We are what we attract, family. Do not let anybody fool you and say, well, you know, opposites attract. No, they don't. No, they don't. Opposites only attract pain. Just look at the track record. I hope you guys have a beautiful summer. For those who are rediscovering their voice, I commend you. For those who are making the commitment to invest in your health, because everything you need, you do understand the body has a way of healing itself. You do know that, right? That's why I always would say, drink your water, take your vitamins, eat correctly. Because if you're doing all those things, guess what you're not going to do? Spend time in the doctor's office, pay that copay. You deserve to be happy. And you will, because you're blessed. Love to hear from you. If this video, with all my videos, are there for you, if there's somebody that you know that might need to hear this, hey, share it. That's what it is. Each one teach one, family. And speaking of family, I'm going to throw this in here too. Research your family tree. Do not allow someone to tell you your family tree. Do the work. Because right now there's There's millions of dollars being squandered. And keep in mind, this is the internet. So you're talking biometrics, you're talking about algorithms. And guess what? If you think in 2018 that there's not a profile with your information, and keep in mind, 75% of that information is willfully given because you don't own the internet. So whatever you put on the internet is public record. Respect yourself, love yourself, and of course, place God first in everything you do because you deserve it. And with that, God's praying for you. You know who I am. I see your work. And for that, it helps me discern mine. You guys are going to have a beautiful summer, family. And let me keep it 100. Some of y'all, this might be some unsettling times because it was all good yesterday, but now it ain't. Don't trip on that. Invest in yourself because guess what? Your happiness is right around the corner. Now go get it. Be blessed.